Hello and welcome again to another day of classes. Today we're going to be continuing with the rest of the Unit 8 of the Interchange 5th edition Level 3 Green Book. In the previous class we were discussing personal preferences with the would rather and with the would prefer, and today we're going to be discussing ways of learning and life skills, okay? So let's jump right in with this conversation. It works for me, okay? So we're gonna be listening to both part A and part B, and after listening to part B, we're gonna be answering these two questions. Who uses technology to study? Who organizes words by category? Category, okay, sorry. Okay, so let's listen and then we're gonna check the answer for this, okay? So let's listen.
Page 52. Exercise 8. Conversation. It works for me. Part A. Listen and practice.
So how's your Mandarin class going?
Harder than I expected, actually. I'm finding the pronunciation very difficult.
Well, I imagine it takes a while to get it right. You know, you could improve your accent by watching movies.
That's a good idea. But how do you learn new vocabulary? I always seem to forget new words.
I learn new English words best by writing them down and reviewing them many times. I've been using this vocabulary building app. It really works for me. Look.
Maybe I should try something like that.
Page 52. Exercise 8. Part B. Listen to two other students, Rick and Nia, explain how they learn new words. Who uses technology to study? Who organizes words by category? Rick.
I keep a record of new words I come across. Then I make up study cards. I write the word on one side of the card and the meaning on the other side. Oh, and I always include at least one sentence with the word in it. Then I go through the cards whenever I have some spare time, like when I'm waiting for my laundry to dry or on the bus, and study the words until I know them by heart. Every week or so, I organize the cards into categories. You know, I put all the words together that have to do with food, or work, or home, or school, whatever I can find that my new words have in common.
Nia.
I keep a vocabulary list on my phone. It's organized alphabetically. Whenever I hear or read a new word, I add it to the list. I also try to put down some key information about the word. You know, whether it's a noun or a verb, and some examples of how it's used. I go through the list and study the words as often as I can. I really believe that the only way to learn new words, even in your own language, is by memorizing them.
Okay, very good. Did you get the answers for these two questions? Who uses technologies to study and who organizes words by category? Okay, let's check. Well, Nia uses this technology to study by keeping an electronic vocabulary list on her phone. And Rick writes words on cards and organizes the cards by category. If you have these answers, very good. You are correct. Okay, let's go right away to the grammar focus for today. It's gonna be an easy one actually. By plus gerund to describe how to do the things. If you remember in the previous unit, in the past unit, we were talking about how to describe how to do things. And today we're gonna be continuing with that by using by plus gerund. As always, I have some material for this. Okay, let's see. Describing how to do things with by plus gerund. That is basically the verb plus ing. We use this to explain how to do something. What problem did Emily have? What advice did her father give her? Okay, you can make friends by going out with your roommates. Here we use the by plus gerund. We say the answer to this. This is what the thing on how to do it. You can make friends. You can do this. How? By going out with your roommates. The best way to meet people is by asking your classmates to study together. I met people by joining groups at the university. This is how to meet people. How to meet people? by joining groups at the university. How can I learn to dance? The best way to learn is by taking lessons. Some people learn by watching videos. A good way to get better is by going to dance clubs. In each one of these, we're using by plus a gerund. That is a verb plus ing. Take, taken. Watch, watching. Going, go, going. Okay? Very good. And that is all. It's only that. You could improve your accent by watching movies. I learned new words best by writing them down and reviewing them many times. The best way to learn slang is not by watching the news, but by watching TV series. Okay? I hope you understand this. It's actually quite easy. It's just saying how to do things, use by plus gerund. Okay, if you understand this, let's do this activity. It's gonna be an easy one. How can you improve your English? Complete the sentences with by and the gerund forms of the verbs, in parentheses here. Okay? So take your time to complete that, and then we're gonna check. Okay, you finished? Let's check. Okay, a good way to learn idioms is by watching American sitcoms. The best way to practice what you have learned is by using it in messages or conversation. Students can become better writers by reading more. You can learn to use grammar correctly by doing grammar exercises online. The best way to develop self-confidence in communication is by talking with native speakers. You can improve your accent by listening to songs and singing along. A good way to memorize new vocabulary is by playing vocabulary games. You could become a more fluent reader by reading something you're interested in every day. Okay? If you have all of these answers, very good. You are correct. Okay, now let's go to this discussion part, this first part at least. You're gonna listen to James and Sophia describe how they developed two skills. How did they learn? Complete this chart. Okay? Very good. So let's listen and complete this chart, and then we're gonna check, okay? Okay, so let's listen.
Page 53. Exercise 10. Discussion. Learning Styles. Part A. Listen to James and Sophia describe how they developed two skills. How did they learn? Complete the chart. 1. James.
I have a huge fear of speaking in front of people. Seriously, I'd rather do anything else. And I'm a lawyer, so it's all about how you speak and present your case. I decided to take a public speaking course, and the teacher taught me some great tips. By memorizing the first line of my speech, by looking out in the audience and focusing on just one person at a time, and, of course, by practicing a ton in that class, I was finally able to improve. Oh, and I always exercise before a presentation to calm my nerves.
1. Sophia.
I love to speak in public. People think if you love public speaking, then it's easy, but that's not true. I work for a nonprofit organization, so I give lots of speeches to convince people to donate money. I would tell stories and jokes, ask the audience questions, but they wouldn't donate money. I was too spontaneous, and I wasn't reaching them. So I started to organize my ideas. By putting my stories at the beginning of my speech and ending with numbers and facts, I had a bigger impact. I'm still spontaneous, but hard facts and data are hard to forget, so I always end with those.
2. James.
I remember I was so excited to learn how to drive. I was 15 when my dad gave me my first lesson in a parking lot. He taught me the basics and then wanted me to drive home on a busy street that first day. He said that by learning on the road with other drivers, I would never forget the basics. That was my dad. My mom was another story. She was so nervous that we never left the parking lot. I never practiced with her again. And it took her 6 months to get in the car with me, even after I got my license.
2. Sophia.
I'm from New York City, where most people don't even learn to drive until they're older. But not me. I first tried when I was 18 with my mom. I wanted to visit a friend, so we went in my mom's car. I thought by going slowly I'd be fine, but I hadn't thought about parking. And in the city, parking is impossible. After 30 minutes of trying to park and almost hitting 2 cars, I just wanted to go home. But my mom insisted we keep practicing. So we drove outside the city, where I finally could relax and get comfortable driving.
Okay, very good. Did you get the answers for all of this? It was a long audio, but I hope that you enjoyed it. Did you get the answers? If you did, let's check. Well, James took a public speaking course and exercises before speaking. Sophia started organizing her ideas better. James, about learning to drive, his dad taught him to drive on a busy street the first day. And Sophia, her mom took her outside the city to learn because parking was impossible in New York City. If you have these answers, very good. You are correct. Okay, let's continue. Now we have our word power, life skills. How do we learn each one of these things? Let's see your opinions. For communication skills, competitiveness, concern for others, cooperation, creativity, money management, perseverance, problem solving, self-confidence, self-discipline, time management, and tolerance. From parents, from school, or on your own. What do you think? Put it in your comments down below. In my opinion, the conversation skills, you mostly get it from school, talking with different friends, competitiveness from school as well, or maybe on your own. Concern for others, usually it's on your own and maybe from parents. Cooperation, it can be for the three of this, from parents, from school, and your own. Creativity can be from school or your own, etc. I'm waiting for your comments down below. Okay, let's do the last thing for the day. That it's gonna be, as always, at the end of the units, reading. Are you studying the right way? Interesting. Okay, take your time to read this whole study about, studying. And after you read this, let's complete this exercise right here. After reading the article, you're gonna find the words in italics like this, and then match each word with its meaning. Okay? Take your time to complete this. And now, if you finished, let's check. Well, clutter, it's letter E. Objects in a state of disorder. Number 2, sitting, it's letter C. Period of activity without a break. Number 3, concentrate, it's letter A. Focus attention on something. Number 4, approach, it's letter D. Way of doing something. And number 5, identical, letter B. Exactly the same. If you have these answers, very good. You are correct. Okay, this has been everything for today. I hope that you liked this class. And I hope to see you in the next class when we get to the unit 9 with the second part of the book. But that's been everything for today. So see you on the next time. Bye.